Abortionists take a victory lap, nearly celebrating the rape of a child when an arrest was finally made regarding the viral story 10-year-old had to cross state lines for an abortion. Never mind, the Columbus Dispatch now confirms the victim did not necessarily have to cross state lines. Of course, no mention of why the story spread before an arrest was made or why news outlets weren't concerned with investigating the rape to corroborate the one-sourced story sooner. Turns out the alleged rapist is an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. So why did big media all refer to him as a Columbus man? If investigative journalist Megan Fox hadn't questioned the validity of the story, would we have even seen this arrest happen? Well, she gets death threats for continuing to ask questions. She's one of the few still trying to get confirmation this child, the victim, has been removed from the home. A question the County Children's Services still refuses to answer. And more questions remain after a woman who says she's the mother of the victim contradicts the stories law enforcement are giving.
¿La niña vivía aquí también?
Sí, pero ella está bien. Todo lo que están diciendo en contra de él es mentira.
Ya. ¿Y la niña, usted es familiar de la niña o
es
solamente?
Mi hija.
La señora, quien se negó a dar su nombre y quien ocultó su rostro, asegura que ella no ha impuesto cargos en contra de Gerson Fuentes, de 27 años, quien está acusado de violación.
Paige Wiley asks an obvious question. Do people even know this is really the mother of the victim? A big disgusting secret of U.S. immigration policy is that the number of children who come across the border and are housed with dubious relatives by the federal government is in the hundreds of thousands. Axios, government can't reach 1 in 3 released migrant kids. And in the first half of last year, more than 65,000 unaccompanied kids crossed the border illegally. How much worse is it this year, you think? Is our current administration doing anything about this? Actually, a George Soros-linked group wins $172 million contract from Biden to help border crossers avoid deportation, according to Breitbart. Speaking of Biden, there's now even more evidence he lied about having any knowledge of his son Hunter's business dealings. Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop shows dozens of meetings with dad and business partners, according to the New York Post. With developing revelations, it raises national security concerns. But remember what NPR had to say about the Hunter Biden laptop. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. Potential collusion and conflicts of interest with foreign governments are not really stories, NPR. And yet this same propaganda outlet peddling disinformation released plans to form its own disinformation board. Meanwhile, the Pulitzer board has doubled down, refusing to remove awards given to the New York Times and Washington Post for their later debunked Russian interference reporting. This even after special counsel Robert Mueller failed to find evidence of Russian collusion and subsequent reporting that the Steele dossier was based on mere rumors or outright lies with connections to the Clinton campaign. But this is not the first time the Pulitzer board has refused to remove awards given for propaganda. It has twice refused to withdraw a 1932 award given to correspondent Walter Duranty. Even the New York Times now acknowledges Duranty took Soviet propaganda at face value and covered up a massive famine, one that killed millions in Ukraine. You know what makes spreading propaganda easier? Word fluidity. We've seen many definitions suddenly adapt over the last couple years. We'll add female to the list. Merriam-Webster has now added having a gender identity opposite of male to the definition. Or if you don't like a word altogether, just ban it. Media Matters is now urging Twitter to censor the word groomer, which it characterizes as anti-LGBT. Sorry, pet stylists, you no longer exist.
No, we just had a little discussion. Look at me. Look at me. Don't look at anybody else. Don't look at the fat-ass losers or freaks. You look at me! English dictionary definition. Groomer is also a person who wins the confidence of a victim in order to commit sexual assault on him or her. So why are they saying the LGBT community is threatened by this? The AP is spreading disinformation again, according to the Federalist. The AP reports Trump waited more than 3 hours to tell rioters to leave. But this is contradicted by detailed timelines from both the Washington Post and the New York Times. WAPO says Capitol was breached at 2:15. At 2:38, Trump tweets, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful." And we're now seeing big media support to transition from a medical dictatorship to a climate dictatorship. Biden is moving to bypass Congress to enact a climate agenda. But do Americans really want this?
It's stunning. New York Times Do you think the climate's the most important problem facing the country? Total voters, 1%. Among Democrats, 3%. Among voters age 18 to 30, 3%. Same poll had the economy at 20 and inflation at 15%. Well,
but hey, fear and sensationalism can drive up views. Well, at least it appears that's CNN's strategy, according to a CNN tech director.
We're going to start focusing mainly on climate, climate like global warming, and like that's going to be our next like I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness. It's going to take years, so they'll probably be able to milk that for quite a bit. You know? So
Bringing you what's ignored, sensationalized, unbalanced, misleading, or just plain false. That's your media malfeasance for the third week of July. Join my community. Find Christy Lee TV on locals.com.